Okay, hello. How's it going? It's a good day because we're working on acting, and I've been doing a lot of work, and I really appreciate all the different comments and such that have come in, and different things. And there's a lot of work to do when you're working at acting. Most people do acting, and they're only concentrating on the one action of being able to have specific you know um, specific look, they constantly work, actors constantly work on just trying to manipulate one another into doing what the other person wants them to do. And this is where we go completely, absolutely into this situation in acting where we're cheating ourselves, because there is both the being side of acting, and then there is the doing side of acting. And you want to be able to have that very, very, very crystal clear to yourself. You've got the being side of acting, which is the introspection work, which is your ability to be able to work and get things done for yourself, really spur your emotion, get your emotional preparation set right. And then you've got the doing of the acting. And the doing is the interaction. And I'll tell you, there's a lot of actors that plan every single one of their emotions, and this is not the way that you would get the greatest amount of experience. That is the way to implement a force on your own technique. And what that does is it ends up limiting you, and your emotions don't start working for you. So these lists of reasons at the door are, you want to work with a list here because you want to be able to choose a list of something that can activate you. It's part of the being side of acting. And that's why I mention it. It's absolutely incredible, incredible, incredible what you can do with the right reason. Now, look, I am still learning to be able to juggle all these different things and screens and all this other stuff. So we are going to work, and it's going to be a little bit out of order, but that's okay. There is a full printed. Let me write this down for every single person in the future. So we've got this down. There is a full list in the description. So in the description box, there is a full list of reasons at the door, and this is incredible. Now, there's a reason why you want to be using lists, and there's a good reasons for that. You want to be able to achieve your own acting so that you are able to find something that you can currently work with, something that's fresh to you, something that's current. And you get that current activation, you get that current desire, and you get that current motivation. And when you're looking at motivations, oh, you expand your talent when you work and you find your motivation. So the process to very quickly go through before we go through the list is, you want to pick one to three reasons at the door. Come with those preparations for your acting exercises. Work with that so it matches what your scene materials are, of course. Or if you're just starting to learn, just work with three reasons, and then see which one of those three actually spur you the most in that moment before you go to work. And then that will be a way that you can find this ability within yourself to be able to spark that talent within yourself. So you've got that talent and you've got the choice, and you kind of letting your instinct make that choice. You're letting the instinct make the choice. And that is absolutely key. So, like I said, we are going in a bit of a different order. I do have a couple of lists here that we are going to look at, and we will start just a couple on this list, and then I will go through the screens and get all of the screen work done. Like I said, this is something that's important for you. This is an important resource. So you can come to the door simply to get a cup of sugar, right? You're just giving yourself a reason to come to the door. And it's that simple. You just give yourself a reason, come to the door, and their simple reason is you come for a cup of sugar, or you're baking a cake. And spend a little moment with yourself. Do you know the ingredients that you really need for that recipe, for the baking? And then if you do, then go ahead, work with that, activate that component in yourself, and just come for that reason, and then just see what happens. And this is how you're warming up those doors and activities. And I'm sure your teachers will be able to help you with that. So, okay, let's it's as simple as something like coming back to get back your jacket. So you come to get back your jacket. And it's like a reason. You've got a reason to be there, but yet you're loose enough to be able to see what the experience is at the door. And that's absolutely key. Absolutely. So let's see here. Let's go down. Give me 1 second to look here. Of course, this is a key thing, is acting is interaction. It is not the forced doing or the forced manipulation of other people in acting. That is not the type of acting that I would encourage. It is definitely something that people train for in a lot of different places, believe me. But that is not what I think is a great thing. So activation of emotion is key. You want to work with activation. It is absolutely important. And then we will go in a bit of a different order here. But let's look at these reasons and items for the door as they come up on my screen and your screen. So we know that there is an important thing of the reasons why to have reasons. And we know that if we pick the right reasons, we know that we can find something that's going to work for our acting. Now, we're looking at reasons and items to come to the door for. Now, the number 12 here is pick up film equipment. Now, if you're going to come and pick up film equipment from your acting class or from your acting exercise, you work with picking up a film equipment. And you look at that and you see if there's some, could you do some shopping? Could you find some kind of film equipment that you actually really want? Or is there a specific piece of film equipment that maybe your friend has and that you don't have? And that's something that you need. And could you go and isolate something? Try and make this specific. What kind of film camera would you need to come and get? And what would that make a difference to? Like, there is this person once that tried getting me to do some nonsense and cheat the insurance companies over trying to get an upgrade of a microphone for their film equipment. Now, that person, regardless of the reason, and it wasn't good, but the reality is that they wanted to be able to find this element, and they wanted to upgrade the thing, and they wanted to do something called using other people's money. And they wanted to be able to try and basically cheat to be able to upgrade their equipment from a $400 microphone to a $1,000 microphone. And then they lied later and said that on record. But that's another story. But anyway, so that is one thing with picking up a film camera. You want to get specific. Now, get film lighting. What kind of film lighting would you be able to need? That would be very specific. Would it be one that gives a certain type of color to the camera? Or would it be an old school film light? Or something that you need old equipment that matches some kind of lighting setup that you've got? This is a good question. So ask to, you want to ask for a specific prop. Now, look, I'm going to assume here that majority of people watching this are already working with emotional preparation when they come to the door, okay? And the reality of this whole construct of working with film props, you want to work with the emotional preparation, and you want to work to activate that emotion. And this is self-activation. Self-activate that emotion. And then you get that inclination, you get that thing, you spark off that emotion inside of you, and you work with a specific film prop, right? So if you're going to work to go to a reason for the door, you want to be able to actually do an emotional preparation on the actual film prop itself. Then when you come to the door as the reason for that film prop, you've activated that element inside of you. You've activated it. It's great. Now you've got the reason, and you've also got this extra impetus because you've got this thing happening inside you, because you've got this whole construct, because you've literally done an emotional preparation for the object. Let me make a note so I can. So the emotional preparations for the objects are absolutely key. Absolutely, absolutely helpful to you, because what it does, it adds that extra spark to your acting process. You're coming to the door for something and you've done deep research, or you've done some deep meaning work, and you found some deep meaning for that specific film prop. Okay, let's see the next one. All right. Now, this is a good one. You are coming to reason for the door is to come and get a copy of your class notes, of your classmates' class notes. So you got to come up with something that's a good reason of why it is that you would be in a situation looking for a class notes. You want to, why did you miss the class? Did you have a special audition? Did you have to go to a meeting where you met somebody to get an apartment and then had to decide whether or not they were the right person to live with or not, given all of the traffic they said that they had coming and going? Or do you have a situation where, I don't know, there's a reason. There's got to be reasons why you missed the class. So you're coming for the reason of the notebook, of the class notes, but you want to be able to have something behind it. So that's a key. Now, next one is to use voice recording equipment for upcoming podcasts. That goes back to the other example I mentioned. Okay, so all right, next reason is reason why someone would come to the door. Oh, this is just a sentence. The reasons why someone would come to the door helps the actor to justify themselves in their acting, in their entrances, right? So you got something, but here's the thing. You're dealing with logic, and you got to be able to deal with logic in this way that's artistic. And that is another key thing to be able to remember. Give me 1 second here, okay? Hi, I'm inviting you to actually join me live on the internet. And if you would, you can bring your own emotional preparation. We can work on emotional preparation together, and we can really hone down and help build out that talent within inside of you. Now, even if all it is you want to just bring an emotional preparation, do a spoon river, I don't mind. Come, join us, and absolutely practice the talent of your own acting. Okay, good. So we are on course here. We are going through the work, and we are definitely looking at things here. So here's a list. Phil, we got this one already. Now, to pick up a reason at the door would be to pick up a watch that was your grandmother's or your mother's, right? And you are looking to get a watch that you know that has sentimental value. Now, you could also include this. I have never seen this before, but I know that it's a good one. Pick up an urn. You're there to pick up a funeral urn. And that would be a great reason. Good reason to come to the door. Very, very good reason. Now, you want to get your study notes. A reason to come to the door would be to get your study notes and homework notes. So let's say you're writing a dissertation, you're doing something, you're in class. You know, there's some good things to that. You could pick up a subject that you really liked. You might have to remember, some of your classes at uni and decide what you'd like to be able to look at or do. That would be another good one. All right. So another reason at the door is to pick up your pet Shiba Inu dog. Now, Shiba Inu, there's a thing somewhere. I wrote down notes. Sometimes I forget that I don't erase them. And the reality is Shiba Inu is a popular little dog now. It's going to be. And that's something that maybe you could imagine. They're very clean. So it's kind of nice that they're a clean animal. So they're not hypodermic. They might be actually. I have to check. Yeah. So okay. Now, realizing your reason at the door is important to do more with than just logic. Okay. So we are looking at logic as being this headstrong. This headstrong. Logic can lock you up as an actor, and you want to be able to be in a situation where you've got that loose for yourself, where you've got to be able to get that loose. Loosen your logic to be able to have the experience is really the key. That's the key. Okay, so next thing here. All right, we are going to go and a reason at the door. We are looking at a reason. Now, look, you can build these up as complicated as you need to. You can specify this for a scene. You can go into scene work, and whether you're working in a studio or not, you can do all kinds of things with these reasons. I mean, you could craft films out of these things. I mean, this is the reason why, part of the reason why I'm doing this. I know I haven't caught on yet with everything and how to figure everything out yet, but maybe I will, who knows? But the reality is, at least the work's out there. And I can say, look, I know there's a lot of work, and this is a good one. You are coming to get camping equipment. Now, you could do a whole set of particularizations that are very specific, ins and outs exercises, doors and activities exercises. Whether you're working with Meisner Senior, Meisner Junior, Meisner on the East Coast or West Coast, doesn't make any difference. The reality is you're coming to get camping gear, and you could use that for the waiting for lefty rehearsals. So you're looking for the waiting for lefty. You're doing that scene where you're coming in for the baseball mitt, and you do some exercises, the doors activities or the ins and outs exercises with camping equipment. And that would be excellent reason at the door for that particular scene. All right, you want to pick up keys to a car. Now, this is the thing. You're looking for a reason to come to the door. You want to personalize this reason, right? Personalize your reasons. I have to make notes as I'm saying this because it's a great thing. Now, next one is so what kind of car? I mean, you're picking up keys for a car because you just had an accident, which is never advisable. But you want to be careful when you're working with some of these things that you invite that kind of energy in, but then you also let that out after you're acting, so that you don't repeat it in life, which is important. So the key thing is you want to pick up car keys. Is it because you need to get to a certain location? Is it because you need to borrow it for the weekend? Because you need to go out to your whatever you call it, Burning Man concerts or whatever you're doing these days? All this stuff, right? You want to get that, come up with a really good reason for yourself as why you want to pick those car keys up. Now, to borrow a ladder for painting and house repair. Now, I would, if I was working with something like that, I would make that reason, add that reason, and make that reason. You want to borrow a ladder for painting and house repair because you need to get a job done for somebody to, I don't know, take your mother out for Mother's Day or some nonsense, something like that, right? Something that's you're able to actually get, and something that matters to you. So, I mean, it could be that you're looking to take somebody out for a special date. It could be that you're trying to do something. So you're getting that whole construct of borrowing a ladder now has this emotional weight. And that emotional weight comes from the construction of the reason. And then you can add in all this other stuff having to do with emotional preparation, which is beautiful, beautiful way to work. Okay, I have to figure out where I'm at with this screen. Okay, so now knocking at the door is parts of the ins and the outs, which were later named doors and activities. Because many of the things that were happening on the West Coast, the East Coast didn't want to be part of, to be quite honest. Okay, so basically, all right, so reason at the door, number 31, is, we're not going in order, but we're still going through the list. Now, I have an emotions list, and I have an emotions list that you want to match with the reasons at the door list. And then you want to be able to put that work together with everything else that I got, which is the activities list. And you want to do this so that you've got this and you've got this thing crafted, you've got this thing constructed. So this reason, the next reason is 31, to pick up tickets for a concert. Now, if you've got a great imagination or a grandiose imagination that helps you out because it helps your creativity, you want to be able to get pick up tickets for a concert, right? Okay, so how are you going to pick up tickets for a concert? Now, there's these things that let's just say I heard about, right? Where you go and, they've got these trusts that get set up, and then the people go and they basically go to the concerts, and then basically they get like 2 or 3 zeros added to a back trust account just for going to the concert. Now, maybe that's part of what you want to go and do, right? You want to give yourself that kind of motivation. Or you're about to, get, $10,000 every dollar you spend on the ticket concert. And that's a motivation on why you need a specific ticket. So you've got a monetary background to that ticket. That's one option. There's others. There's other reasons. Maybe you just want to see, great people. There's maybe 3 people in my entire life I might even want to meet that I might not have already talked to or have. But the reality is that you want to find a reason. You want to find a reason that is to pick up tickets for a concert, but there's a reason why you got to get there. Now, bring free concert tickets. Now, let's say you go back to that example where you've got the concerts, you've got to, for some reason, convince your friend to be able to go and come to this concert. I don't advise it, but maybe it works for some people. I've seen things like that in classes. Now, pick up a DVD Blu-ray for special director's commentary. Now, there are some directors and other commentaries that would be special that you might have that's part of a project, and you want to get one of those projects and get those special director cuts that maybe aren't the actual releases in the store. So you want to get some special release, something that's not maybe it is special, maybe it's got some special commentary, or it's just special to you, and you've got to be able to work with that and personalize it. Okay, reasons at the door. Okay, so we've got number 27, to help be tutored to become an apprentice in a business. This is good. You might be an apprentice for a lawyer, or you might be an apprentice for a studio owner, or somebody that's done all kinds of things to say that they own a lot of studio stuff that maybe they haven't. They've just done it by negotiations. and that's an eye-opening experience for you. And that maybe that's part of the reason why you want to include that in your work. That would be perfect. So you want to help be tutored to be an apprentice in a business. You want to be able to figure out why you want to be part of that business. You know, some people go to legal schools because they know that they'll be automatically associated into some sort of trust accounts that they know that there'll be payouts to. All kinds of things like that are actually, you know, just part of the industry and part of the back financing of Hollywood, and not just Hollywood. Now, there's the next one here is 28. Wanting to get a job. Yeah, you might want to get a job at a specific place. Now, I know of somebody that wanted to get a job so badly at a specific place. It happened to be a gas station, if you can believe it. And they really wanted to get, you know, because they knew that the people were very, 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 very straight, and maybe they weren't so straight themselves. And that was they really wanted a job at that specific station. It's an interesting story. Okay, so 29 is knocking on the door to preach Jehovah. Hey, why not? Why not? You got to work with very different, you know, experiences. And, you know, why not? Why not have some agape, Jehovah love, and all that other stuff? Learn about it and everything else. You know, maybe you want to be able to expand your horizons. You want to be able to expand your spiritualism. You want to be able to start to work with that stuff. You want to find impetus. You know, you may not agree with the entire thing, but you might agree with a lot of it. And this is something that can be motivational for you. So you're knocking on the door in enacting exercise to as a Jehovah. And you are there to be able to talk and be Jehovah. And that would take quite a little bit of research. You want to be able to go and visit some people and look at some stuff and ask some questions and be fair about the whole process. What do you learn about it? You can do that about all kinds of things, which is fantastic, really interesting. Okay, to sell your car as collateral. Oh, now you don't need to go very far these days to sell your car as collateral, depending upon the car and depending upon its history and all that other stuff. But the reality is you want to sell your car as collateral for what? See, your reason is you want to come to the door for a reason to sell your car as collateral. But why do you want to sell your car and what are you giving that collateral for? So there's this whole construct that is very interesting to study. It's called a 1031. And I'm trying to balance out how much do I talk about life? How much do I talk about acting? We want to be able to keep everything real. But the reality is it's got to be realism is what activates you. I mean, I can go in and find reality that is incredible, active, rich, emotional life. And you can go in and find reality to you that's active, rich, emotional life. But the reality to this is you want to be able to then find what it is that means something to you, and how I find it and activate that emotion is going to be completely different to how you find it and what experiences you're going to do to be able to get yourself active. How do you get activated in that element? That's key. That's key. Okay, so we got that one done. Let's see the next one. Reasons at the door items. It's got a ring to it, doesn't it? Yeah. You want to pick up a film credit? We've got this one. We did this one. Now, this is an interesting one. Reasons to get your phone back that you forgot. Okay, so first of all, did you forget it? Or did somebody make you forget it? Or are you just feeling like you were forgetful? Do you know why you were forgetful? Were you distracted by something when you forgot your phone? All of those things make a difference as to how to use the reason at the door of how to get your phone back that you forgot. Okay, now, first of all, that. Second of all, what do you do without your forgotten phone that you couldn't do with your phone, right? So, like, what do you need your phone for? Are you using that to stimulate yourself emotionally? Are you letting that resonate with yourself? Is it just a one track where you're just going, well, no, you just need this, you just need this, you just need that phone. Well, hold on a minute. You want to get not, they call it a thin emotional range. Or sometimes it's not even emotional, it's just conviction. Get out of that mindset of conviction and get into the mindset of emotional creating with your emotions, and you'll become a better actor, which is key, absolutely key, because you want to come up with these reasons where you've got this. Now, this is a very, very, very interesting thing. Now, what's on your phone? Whose numbers are on your phone? Darn, I have lost phones where I have had numbers that I forget. And I'm like, well, I don't want to reach out to those people without having their direct contact because that would be weird. But, I don't know. They gave me their numbers. I got their numbers. I don't know. Or I switched my email address or something. I don't have their information, but, whatever, but isolate whose numbers are on your phone that you need to get that specific phone for. Maybe they gave you your phone, they put your phone, their numbers in your phone, and it was a burner phone that you're using just for a few months. Or you were just getting the phone because you're in between two different locations, or you're overseas, or you're back in one area, or you had different SIM cards, all these different things. They play into what and how to wind yourself up to be able to find that emotional stimulus. You get that emotional stimulus, you spark it, you spark it, you spark it, and then you wait till you got that the absolute thing. Just pinch that little emotional element in you, and then you go and you knock on that door, and you've got the purpose. You got your purpose, you got your reason, and you've got it with emotion. And you want to spark yourself this way. Really spark yourself to be able to do really, really, really good acting. And you can. And, this is a really, really, really good one, especially these days. You might have forgotten your other electronic or something, and maybe that sparks you a little bit more. Then use that other electronic, but work with it so that maybe you've got your, I don't know, BlackBerry, or you got your note-taking equipment, and you got special notes on the note taker, and you text yourself messages for the notes, and there's special notes because you're writing a project about something that is incredible, fictional, maybe true story. So, or maybe it's all true, and you just got to throw it out there and work with it in a way that is imaginary conditions. So do this so that you're crafting yourself so you've got that motivation. All right. Now, you to pick up your purse. Now, this is an interesting one. Now, look, you're coming for the reason at the door to pick up your purse. We got that. We understand, right? But this is the key. Whose keys do you have in your purse? Do you have somebody else's keys? Do you have your own keys? Do you have somebody else's car keys? Do you have somebody else's, I don't know, whatever keys? So you've got something in your purse. Do you have makeup in your purse? Did you forget something that you shouldn't have had in your purse? Do you have something, female products that you really, you probably don't want to throw that into the exercise, but you might. Whatever sparks off, whatever it is. Do you have a specific makeup that costs like $130 for lip gloss or something? And that specific makeup is in that specific item. These are the things and how to be able to get reasons to your door. You want to be able to get the reason, isolate that reason. All right. We pick up a parcel that you had delivered to your friend. Okay, this is interesting. So for some reason, your friend used your address, or you use your friend's address, or you are just there to pick up a parcel. So you could do something with that. It's interesting. It's kind of interesting. All right. So, so the reason at the door, is that you came over to ask for a haircut. It's a pretty funny reason. Now, there's a couple things to this. Sometimes when you're working all the time as an actor, you actually need to have a lot of haircuts. I mean, a lot of haircuts. You might actually get your haircut 2, 3, 4 times a week. It just depends. And I know it seems like, well, what the heck? But no, this is true. And the reality is you work with yourself so that you really need a haircut. Well, maybe you need a haircut because you know that the person you're working with is actually a hairstylist, and you need a specific haircut. And you know that they can give you one of those bobby cuts. And that's excellent reason to come to the door. An added reason to come to the door would be that you need to get the curling irons that are very, 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 very specific, or very, very, very specific items for your hair. My hair curls like this naturally. A lot of people over the years have commented about how the curl's nice or whatever. But the thing is that the reality is that you want to be able to find for yourself specific reasons. Now, I don't know, maybe you need curlers to be able to fit a part for a picture that you're doing, or an audition where they have to have every single person audition with curly hair. Okay, well, then you've got to find curls, and you've got to get your own curls because you don't have my natural curls. Or maybe you need to get it straightened. Well, that's another thing. Now you've got to be practical about this. Why does the actual person inside the door actually have this construct? Why do they have this ability? Why do they have this thing where there's this specific thing where you've got to have it from them, which is this is part of the work. It's the fun of creating. And you might sit for half an hour nicely in a rotunda or something, and just are sitting at windowsill and just sit and brainstorm. What are all the different reasons why you specifically would look to be able to go over to somebody's place for a specific haircut? It's a good one. Okay. Camping equipment, we covered that. Pick up the keys, we got it. Yeah, you got to know how tall the ladder is. If you're going to borrow a ladder, you want to know specifically, are you looking for a 4-foot ladder that can go in a specific area to be able to paint a corner? Or do you need a long ladder that you don't have something that's a 50-foot ladder? You only have a 20-foot ladder, and 20-foot ladder is not going to get to your eaves trough. So things like that, Okay, let's see. I'm having a lot of fun doing all this stuff. Thanks for all your comments here and there. I know some of the comments come late. It's no problem. It's no problem. And I know there's a lot of differences when you're working with this. The more you do the being side of acting, the absolute better. Listen, I need just a short break just to take a break from talking. Let me keep going. Okay, so. All right, we have number 23 is borrow a costume that another person has. It could be a ballroom dress that you need to have, or you need to have a certain type of tuxedo to be able to match some kind of picture that you're trying to match in whatever nonsense you're doing, or good things that you're doing. Or you're looking for some sort of project and you want to be able to make it exact. So borrow a costume is a good one, but be very specific as to which costume. Now, this one is a little bit interesting. Borrow a suit for a funeral. You could borrow a suit for a funeral. Be a good reason. Now, you want to not only come to borrow a suit for a funeral, you want to be able to use that reason at the door to be able to borrow a suit for a funeral and actually sit down and know who's that funeral for? What do they mean to you, right? Why is that important? All these things matter. So, money for a haircut. You might need, maybe you need to go and get a like $400 haircut, and you might have to need to get a $300, $400 haircut where they cut your hair about 3 different times in the same haircut. And you need to do that because you're going up for some sort of part, or you're going and you know that you're going to see some people you haven't seen for a couple of decades, or whatever the case is, right? And you need to have a specific haircut. That might be a very, 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 very good reason of why you would need to borrow money for a haircut. Not all haircuts cost $12, and not all haircuts are expensive. So you just have to, and it could be you need to have a certain braid of your hair done because you're going to go do the French trot. You want to do horseback riding. You need to do your hair a certain way. So that might be a reason why you're going to have to be able to have a certain haircut, and you've got to have, that's part of your costume or your presentation to be able to meet the requirements to go on trips, to be able to do the equestrian, or the all of those different horse tricks that you're doing for a presentation on how to work with your horse or something like that. Very, very, very good. All right, so you want to borrow money for rent. Now, look, I've seen teachers over the years, some good ones, some bad ones, and I'll watch good teaching and I'll watch bad teaching, because I learn from both. When you really, I've seen over 30,000 acting exercises over. So when I've seen that much, it's, I have to have a lot of discipline to sit and so quiet for so long, where I'm just sitting and watching other people, and sometimes I'm teaching, but sometimes I'll tell you, I'll go in and watch classes and study and teach. And if I'm watching and studying, I'm working hard. I'm trying to work hard. I'm making, it's very, very, very important to take acting seriously, because what you can uncover in yourself as you grow with your humanity is what acting is all about. That's just as simple as it can go and be said. All right, so borrowing money for rent. I've seen teachers, everybody say, oh, you can't do that. That's a bad reason. Oh, really? Well, look, not every single person is involved in some in some kind of, no, I'm so sorry. Can I erase it? Okay. Anyway, it's not everybody's involved in stuff where they have, some people have to work hard to be able to do stuff. And some people have to work to be able to do that, to borrow money, and they have to borrow money for rent. And that's key. And so if you can find that reality of looking for orders for your business, or looking for whatever the situation is, and you can find that reality, then you look for that reality and you go to borrow money for rent. And that is something that you can do. And this is key. And you do that, so you work hard and you're able to get that. And you get that reality of not having, and that you've got, but I would add, eviction notices and all that other stuff, which would be helpful to the reality of that you're building for that specific reason. Okay. Okay. So the we're going to go through. This is taking longer than I thought, and we haven't so far had anyone show up, which is fine. We might add a couple people, but here's the thing. This is absolutely key. You want to be able to discover these things for yourself so you can really craft them. Now, this is far, far, far different than trying to craft a whole bunch of stuff that matches somebody else's work. You know, there's this whole pandemic in Hollywood where everyone's gone and they'll say, such and such can go into such and such a trust as long as they go and have their next generation redo all of their films. And this is a real thing. And then, you wonder why so-and-so isn't working much as a director, or this person's not working. And then later you find out, oh, they've been working on that for the last 2 years, doing all of these films to be able to lock up all this money, and not remakes where they actually go and cast people, but these are like gene pool, like recastings or negotiations. And this is just the truth of Hollywood. And it's not just Hollywood. So, just know that stuff exists. And that is the reason why some of these directors go missing. And they're busy working, but they're working to picture files replacements for certain different topics. And all of that's actually true. But, okay, so borrowing jewelry for an event is what spawned that. There is all types of reasons why you might need to borrow jewelry for a specific event, and explore those, and then come up with those reasons for yourself where you can personalize it. All right, now the other one, getting 35, is get an evening dress for ballroom dance. Okay, so we have an evening dress for a ballroom dance. Now, a lot of people only teach urgencies coming to the door for the top people. Sometimes you might come to the door, and you come to the door with an urgency. And you'll see that your teacher usually will tell you, don't work with urgencies at the door. You want to not do that. You want to only have the urgency in getting the activity done. Now, there is more than one school of thought out there for teaching, but technically, that is the way a lot of teachers will say there's no urgency at the door. But if you're at a very, 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 very top level, or if you're working in a film, I'm telling you, you want to practice with going and doing doors with urgency. This is key. You want to practice that because that is absolutely important. Okay, let me take a note here. I will make a note. I'll be right back. Hi, I'm inviting you to actually join me live on the internet. And if you would, you can bring your own emotional preparation. We can work on emotional preparation together, and we can really hone down and help build out that talent within inside of you. Now, even if all it is you want to just bring an emotional preparation, do a spoon river, I don't mind. Come, join us, and absolutely practice the talent of your own acting. Okay. All right. So, borrow jewelry for an event we've covered. We've got get an evening dress for ballroom dance. Okay, now loan a vehicle for a week. Now, there's an interesting topic when it comes to the whole Burning Man situation, right? And I don't know how much you know about all that, but you might need to go and borrow a camper for a week to go up to an area for whatever it is, right? You might need to do that that might be something that, just one second again. Hi, I'm inviting you to actually join me live on the internet. And if you would, you can bring your own emotional preparation. We can work on emotional preparation together, and we can really hone down and help build out that talent within inside of you. Now, even if all it is you want to just bring an emotional preparation, do a spoon river, I don't mind. Come, join us, and absolutely practice the talent of your own acting. Okay, so if you need to borrow a vehicle for a week, you might need to borrow a vehicle for, I don't know, like an event. You might need to borrow something. This is something that you can isolate within yourself and really get, and that's a good reason. Okay, 37 is borrow a uniform for a job interview. $38, borrow a uniform for a sports event. Now, there are a lot of reasons why somebody might want to borrow a uniform for a sports event. They may not have the colors needed for the event, to attend the event, et cetera, et cetera. So it's a definitely, it might be a team costume. It might be a team hat. It could be a team hoodie or a sweaty, all that stuff. It could be. So this would be great. So let's keep going here. I'm not going to stay on all night or all day here. Okay, now the reasons why someone would come to the door helps the actor to be able to justify entrances. Now, thanks for your patience with me, because I am definitely learning to do all this stuff in real time. Okay, knocking at the door, I got that, is the ins and outs. Okay, now there is this entire thing that's weird about you might have to use really expensive architecture design program, and that would be something that is just too expensive, so you're using some sort of copy of it. But this has to be an imaginary circumstance, okay? Because anything that isn't completely, absolutely legit, you want to be sure that it stays within the imaginary conditions or stays within the imaginary circumstance. And that's all I'm going to say about it. But I definitely have seen people do things like this. So now, if you come to the door and the reason is because you need a place to stay. Now, this is key. You want to come with a packed suitcase, packed. And then packing a suitcase is its actual own acting exercise. That's right. It's actually its own. It's an exercise that you can do alone. Now, I will do something on that to make sure people know. It is absolutely important. Very, 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 very important. If you're going to show up and you need a place to stay, then you want to have at least a knapsack with your something. You want to have some kind of like suitcase. You want to have your belongings where you're expecting, hopefully the person's going to let you stay. And if you do, then you need to be able to have that reality in you. Now, prior to class, or prior to your exercise, or prior to your actual scene on your film set, You go and you pack your actual suitcase, and you get that suitcase packed. And that is an exercise that you can use for your own emotional preparation. And that is really, really, really good. All right. Now, the next one is you show up and you need a place to clean up. Now, I've had people show up randomly at where I've lived in various places, right? I've had people randomly show up saying that they needed to be able to clean up in my place because of what has just happened to them. And I was like anything, right? This is an actual thing that happens in life, and it's something that you should work with this in art, because why would somebody show up, right? This is a reason why somebody could come to the door, and it would be a very, 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 very good reason for someone to show up because they need a place to clean up. Now, they might have just gotten in an argument with somebody. They might have just been kicked out of their place where they're living. They might have just been in some sort of incident. And the key is to isolate that incident. Look at that incident and see how it is that that's going to affect you, and see whether or not you're activating that emotional effect. Now, this isn't something about having some kind of flirting feeling or fleeting feeling, because feelings can be both fleeting and flirting. So you want to find a feeling that goes into a deep feeling and then becomes an emotion. So you work with this construct so you've got an emotional depth. And you work with this emotional depth. Now, it's absolutely key that you find reasons that work for you. And I'll tell you, this specific reason is one to work on, and work on hard. And that is that you need a place to clean up. Did you just get caught in some sort of domestic thing? Did you just get caught in somebody that was like, were you just assaulted? There's things like that. Were you assaulted, and then the person that assaulted you sit and have a discussion with the person that you're with in that moment that you were spending time with at that second? Did something bizarre happen for you so that you'd have that need, where you have that need of a place to clean up? It's key. And this is a great acting exercise. And it's also a great scene. See, I'm looking at this as a film director. I'm looking at this as a teacher. I'm looking at this as a creator. So I'm looking at this reasons at the door to be able to absolutely find stuff that's going to work for you and get something active in you, which is key. Okay, now I am obviously, we are crossing over an hour. I wouldn't expect you to sit for the entire hour, but you might. And let's break this up into 2 sections. And I will go through this and get everything sorted out with all the numbers. And we will continue the 100 reasons another time. And this would be great. But look, I am balancing out what I can work on in a way that works with activating myself so that you see those activations, and being able to work with imaginary conditions, imaginary circumstances. I have a crazy amount of experience with this stuff. So it's a matter of working hard at being able to find those sparks inside of you. Acting is activation. Acting is interaction. You activate yourself in the being side of the work, and then you enter into the doing side of the work, and you're a lit fuse in a way that still receives the other person. And now you got something working. You got what you've got going on mixing with what you're receiving from the other person. So please, absolutely share this. Let me know in the comments what I can do that can be greater for you to be able to expand what it is you need to learn. I know many people are in classes. I am not looking to replace your teachers. I'm looking to amplify your talent. I'm only interested. I remember who cares? Some famous person. I wouldn't care about anybody if you're famous or not. It doesn't make any difference to me. But the reality is that they said something about, well, what should we do? Should we do this part together? Should we get this thing done? I said, well, listen, it's an opportunity. Sure. But unless you're going to do the opportunity to expand your humanity, I don't see the point in it. And they looked at me and they didn't know what to do. They said, what? You want to do an acting role so you can expand your humanity? I said, yeah, that's right. Now, they had been around a lot of other people in the entire industry. They said that I had never heard that before. What are they talking about? Yeah, acting's about expanding your humanity. If you didn't know that, get my message. That's the truth. There's just no other way around it. You've got to be able to do your art. You're working to be able to find your own talent. You've got to be able to find your own reasons. You've got to be able to find and activate your own talents, which is emotion, activating your own emotion. You get your emotion activated in the being side of the work. If you just work on memorizing lines and going and doing the doing side of the work, good luck. You're going to be absolutely involved in some degree of forcing the other actors and your will on the other actor, and you're going to probably end up in an argument. And I've seen a lot of arguments in my life. Believe me, I have seen a lot of arguments, and I have not been in very many at all. At all. And it is absolutely important to be absolutely clear with yourself, to be able to be in this place where you've got talent, where you find and mine your own talent. Okay, so listen, I've had a blast. Like I said, I'll figure this thing out. I'm still working on it, and I'm working on how to get all these different things working so that it's a little bit more entertaining. You can follow along a little bit better, and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So please let me do one thing, last thing here, and we will be out. Thank you very much. I'd like you to join me live on the internet. Absolutely doing your acting and doing emotional preparation. Now, one of the things that the casting directors always make comments on in the back rooms is whether or not a person can do a piece of material with one emotional preparation and then switch their emotional preparation and do the same piece of material. And we can practice doing that on our live feeds together. So join me. Find the information on the website Emotional Preparation, and then you can join me and we can broadcast you live on the internet, and it will be fantastic. Hi, I have studied with well over 35 different Meisner teachers. And many of them I used to watch when they were just baby Meisner students in the classes. They didn't even do teaching yet. They were just students in the classroom. So you could join me at 2 p.m. on Tuesdays and Fridays and ask me anything and about acting. And then you can also, we can work together to be able to help get your emotions. So if you want to help to be able to do emotional preparations, it's absolutely no problem. Listen, I have seen a lot of acting. And you could join me at 2 p.m. on Tuesdays and Fridays, and I will even help you do your emotional preparation. Just, I'll send you a link. You can come backstage. We can work face to face, and you can join the live stream. Hi, would you help me to be able to help you? Would you please, in the comment section, just place one question per comment that you have about acting? It's really important to me that you find your own acting technique. And if you ask some really good questions, you never know what I might be able to come up with